Okay, cool. So thank you all for coming. I know it's a bit early. Welcome to the unofficial Solana mini summit. I'm presuming no one has a hangover in here. Does anyone have a hangover?
Perhaps.
We all good? All right, well, we got a bunch of coffee for you. So my name is Mike Berman. I'm one of the co-founders of Tectonic. I'll be a moderator this morning. We'll start with introductions from the panelists. So we have Rachel, James, Joanna. I'll let you introduce yourself and then talk about what you're building.
Sure. Hi, I'm Rachel Sachs. I'm the founding CMO of Q. Let's use this on. Perfect. I'm loud enough anyways. And Q is an opinion market built on Solana. We will be coming to the Solana Seeker store, which I'll probably be talking about more later in the next coming weeks. And yeah, just stoked to be here. Honestly, that's it. Just vibing. It's early. It's early. It's early.
Hi, everyone. My name is James Young. I run a project called Collabland. We do what's called token gating on Discord and Telegram. We've been around, started in the Ethereum ecosystem about 6 years ago. Glad to be here.
Hey guys, my name is Joanna. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Zoom. So I guess, yeah, we started as an infra project. We basically can think of us as the OP stack for SVM, for Solana Virtual Machine. So helping other folks to build their own app chains, their own Solana on top of an L1. So that was our initial vision. And since we TGE'd last year, we started pivoting to the application layer because we realized in order to demonstrate that underneath tech, we would need to really build killer apps, right? We incubated a bunch of apps. The most successful ones are the trading apps, right? That's what really Solana is kind of like known for. Not, any DeFi, like lending, because TVL is still on ETH, but trading, like high frequency trading, on-chain market making, that kind of stuff. So yeah, so we had that realization and we wanted to build something in that, like doubling down on in that narrative. So we built the basically AI enabled trading app. It's called 100x Soon. It's essentially mini app, meaning it's a short time window, right? So you can auto close your position, leverage position within 30 seconds. Like you're making a bet on the Bitcoin move or whatever asset movement in the next 30 seconds, up or down. And then you can lever up to 100 times with a fixed risk, but very much asymmetric, size of upside. So this is meant to onboard newbies to perp trading, because I think the biggest pain point in perp trading is just complex UX, right? People need to understand the funding risk, watching their overnight risk, looking at your liquidation margin risk, all that stuff. So this mitigates all of that with a proxy to the X402 agent, taking care of the payment and the transfer logic. Yeah, so I can talk a little bit more about all the roadmap that we have on the agenda. Yeah.
Thank you, Barry.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good. Okay, first question is for Rachel. What does consumer crypto mean in 2026 on Solana? And then the flip side, what does it no longer mean?
Solid question. I mean, it's funny. Like, I actually thought this for the longest time that it's synonymous with retail, and it is not. There's definitely a divide happening more with that. And oh my God, it's oh my God, I'm so out of it right now. It was like, oh, hungover. Yeah, that's me a little bit. But yeah, so I think it really is going to be a matter of knowing your end user and really taking that as a priority. Like, for instance, like for Q, I know every single person on the leaderboard. I know their life. We have an open testing group, and I think building in public will become more and more of a thing and be more important. And if you're building a newer product, that you need to have a testing group in Telegram or whatever your preferred form of communication is. But yeah, we definitely kind of changed over from like, oh, let's just go make a Discord. Let's go do this. Like, it's just completely changed in 2026. And I mean, we're only about 2 months in. So I really think that there's going to be so much room for just really strong exponential growth in terms of what the user base is even going to look like and what consumers are going to look like. And as we go and onboard more people into different areas of crypto, and even more so, like normies. We're selling to the same 200,000 people all the time. Solana, not as much as, say, Ethereum is about probably, I would say, 200,000 people, the same group of people over and over again, the same money changing hands all the time, kind of like a game of musical chairs. So I think really it's going to be an important thing to make everything very palatable to a wider range of consumer, which again, people do confuse it with retail. That's not necessarily the case, because that could be things with B2B. It does really say that, like, you really are going to have to onboard people to be B2B products. And there is really a bull case here for Solana really taking over with finance and being B2B for finance. So that's really, I think, where we're going. But we're 2 months in. We have so many more things that could be happening this year. And I think we could speculate all day long about it. But that's where I think we are at the current moment in time.
Thank you so much. Question for James. What new consumer behaviors did meme coins teach us that will carry forward into non-meme coin projects?
That's a good question. Say that one more time.
So basically, what did meme coins teach us? And then what parts to meme coins will carry over into future projects?
I think meme coins have taught us, outside of like the whole gambling aspect, that crypto can be fun, and crypto will in general shape culture and the wider zeitgeist. And what we can take from that, I think now, so I'm mainly, in my perspective, is mainly from the Ethereum ecosystem. And so I don't know how relevant this is, but I think people can understand that, like, now we've evolved from like this fun finance and cultural impact from meme coins to the shift toward prediction markets, whereas meme coins are purely kind of self-insulated. Prediction markets give this second order data exhaust that can be particularly useful. And I think that can help shape decision making on a wider scale. And I think that is the trajectory. I don't know what comes after prediction markets, though. I think we're still kind of figuring that out.
Cool. Thank you so much. Question for Joanna. Your ecosystem has been building a lot on X402. Do you want to talk about some of the use cases there?
Yeah, can I just answer the last question a little bit too? I just have a few takeaways. I feel like for meme coins, the real lesson here is anybody can launch their coin, right? That's kind of what the power of kind of the Solana degen culture is, that like you can just sit on your toilet, right? And then like do it within seconds. It's interesting, right? It's good and bad, right? The whole pumped up fun era certainly brought a lot of new people in. I live in New York, and all the people I met in the Solana office these days are like half my age, like really young teens, because that's how they got onboarded. But I think the question really is like, because I again work very closely with the Solana Foundation and talk to them very much daily. The idea really is like, how do we sustain that momentum, right? And how do we pivot these people to the next big thing? And this leads to kind of the question that you just asked. I really do believe, X402, which is, for maybe folks in this room may not know, is a payment standard, agentic payment standard that was first developed by Coinbase. And it's been kind of like marketed as a developer tool. And I think it's so much more than that, because what it really does is it allows a single signature flow, right? So you just sign once transaction and give proxy to your AI agent, and it will handle all the kind of back-end work for you. In the sense that, like, I onboarded my mom, who has never touched crypto in her life, to claim a red packet, which is one of the products that we shipped just for this Lunar New Year. So like less than 5 days ago. And we're already seeing like hundreds of, millions of transactions already on the platform, because it's that simple, right? It's gasless, single signature flow, and then it's also from a front end, it's very smooth. You don't even need a Web3 wallet to log in, just a single email login that creates the wallet for you. So I think the reason why I'm so bullish on X42 is it can be used for consumer grade apps, and it's just certainly like currently not being marketed as such. We did a bunch of experiments in this regard, including like the one I mentioned, the mini perp, which is actually based on another experiment we did on the prediction market, kind of a game that went viral and broke the Coinbase facilitator. But my point is bringing it all back to, why I think this can actually be the next big thing, because we're all trying to figure out, like in our daily life, not just in crypto, right, how to get real world use cases for AI. I think this is really like certainly part of that, right? Like there's a trading culture, as we talked about earlier, a real PMF within the space, and how do we incorporate AI agent in that, UX like upgrade, so we can actually onboard more people than this room into the foray, right? So that's what X42 can do, and that's why we've been so much like bullish on it and building on top of it.
Thank you so much. Moving back to Rachel, a question about wallets. What should teams think about as far as wallet being the new app store, and what do they need from wallet teams?
All right, I'm going to go answer the other question first because I like that one a little more and it's fun for me. And like, it's definitely something I think of, but I'll get to that question. I think what's interesting about meme coins, like and how they are, it's a cultural thing. I find it to be the closest to NFT culture that we got again. Like, I feel like that cycle, it's the same people, the same traders, which again, if you've been in the space long enough, these are your friends. This is how you interact with things. It makes you more likely to spend money. It makes you more excited to do things together. And I think something that Solana does really well is honestly culture, people, community. And I'm in a big trading group, and like there's the Solana ones come up. I'm like, oh, absolutely. Fuck yeah. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go buy this random shitter and just have fun with it. Why not? Versus like a base token. And I'm like, oh, okay. You got a thing about Malt Book. That's cool. I'm just going to go follow the meta of Skibbity Toilet 6-7, whatever the fucking nonsense we got on here, So, and I mean, it's interesting actually in wallets as well. That can relate to, like, I'm a Phantom Wallet maxi, I think, in terms of wallets, in terms of everything for on Solana. And I think it's very interesting of like just how everything is for trading it. You do need to have a wallet, I really do think, in my opinion, for if it's a larger, serious, built out app. If you're say something like a prediction market, then great, go integrate with the wallet. I think that's probably the way to go with it. But right now on that as well, like I think even more so than wallet apps are going to be things like dApps. Like for instance, like we're going to launch on Solana Seeker. And that's really been a priority. And I'm very intrigued to see just how that performs in the dApp store and like really how like the Seeker team grows everything out over time. So I think that's just going to be very interesting to do with that. And I think from a wallet team, just honestly, just accessibility and support. It's really basic at this point. Like you really don't need all the world to you, right? Like, yes, money is nice, like money to be able to like live your life and grow and be able to actually do things and get people over to your area of whatever you're putting into a wallet. But other than that, it really is going to be, how do you vibe with people? And I think that's what's interesting a lot of times about crypto and collaborations and things like this is, how do you like the other group of people? How does that come through? Like that is how BD is done. Like, how the BD guys are. It's a skill set. It is a skill set within itself to do BD within an ecosystem. So that's my thought about wallet teams and meme coins and everything else. And I think prediction markets are going to pick up from where the meme coin people are. That's the next. It's all kind of flows over. But perps also. Perps has also been a huge group for the same crowd. Perp trader, it's the same dopamine rush, the same type of thing of searching for that, the same feeling of opportunity that you can go make it and make all of this money because everyone was posting about it on Twitter and saying, hey, I put in $100 into this shit coin that right as it came out there, I had the conviction on it and I made $100,000. Like that is just a very solid, appealing case that just appeals to like the darkest parts of our humanity. And you know what? Like, fuck it. Enjoy the dark parts of humanity. I think that we kind of shy away from it too much. And on that, yeah, hell yeah. Okay. James, go on.
That'll be the quote from the Solana side.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Enjoy the dark parts of humanity. Question for James regarding incentives. What should incentives look like when you want users, not mercenaries?
Well, I think the incentives need to be long-term, but if you don't have a short-term, you'll never have a long-term. So there needs to be alignment, short-term and long-term. I think it is really tempting and somewhat obvious to only use on-chain metrics to come up with your KPIs. I think that in order to sustain long-term, you need the ability for people to, what I'll call, have soft trust in what they're doing. So crypto has solved what I'm calling hard trust. You have this consensus, trustless system that you can build trust upon. But when you're only looking at the trustless fundamentals, you're missing the bigger picture. And it's a big question when it comes to long-term behavioral change. How do you measure that? And I think that there is an opportunity here with AI to help solve that. I think there's a lot that needs to happen in AI, but I think that what I'm seeing with the new research when it comes to continuous learning, there is an opportunity for AI to work with an operator, a human, that isn't just stagnant, because people change over time. So if you have a short-term alignment and you want to get to long-term alignment, you have to be able to change, because people change and your people's relationships change. The nature of trust between relationships change, and you have to be able to measure that. If you can quantify that emotion mathematically, I think then you get into this really interesting area of programmatic emotion, if you will. I don't know how better to describe that. Yeah, I don't know if that answered the question.
No, that was great. So we have time for one final question. It's my favorite. Everyone's always looking for alpha. So where do we see the next alpha coming within Web3? I can give it to each panelist. Maybe Rachel, do you want to start first?
Sure, I'll go first. I think it's all the rise of agentic AI, everything, that I really think like we're going to go the opposite way, go more toward hardware. And I think DPIN will make a return. I think DPIN's coming back. I really do. I think people are just going to get really intense on it and go the other way. I think just seeing enough agentic this, agentic that, like it's too much. I'm over it. I'm over it at this point. I'm really not. You have to use it, but I think just more of the human aspects are going to come out more. So I think what is the most human thing that people are really doing on Solana? Probably DPIN, probably hardware. That's my assumption.
I have a few theses. I think I'm really bullish on equity perps, right? So there's a lot of tokenization happening on the RWA side. Obviously, the Solana's foundation people wants to onboard more, TriFi stocks, right, onto their trading platform, existing pooling existing user base. I would say also like some sort of like on-chain, off-chain custody solution that like bridge the gap between the trustworthiness of the off-chain platform, but also the anonymity of the nature of the on-chain platform. I've seen like some, I can't remember, it might be Fireblocks, like one of those Anchorage, like doing some experiments with that and trying to acquire teams that is working on a solution like that to basically, for lenders that don't want to, be KYC'd, right? They can do that on the on-chain platform, and then that needs to be kind of transfer the asset over to an off-chain platform, so the borrowers feel like their assets are, being safeguarded. Yeah, so that's something that I currently like looking for a solution for. Yeah.
How many builders are in the audience? Developers. I think when you look at AI, I think the perspective is code is now disposable. Build it and they will come days are over. And what I think the strategy is for builders now is to look for distribution channels first, because in the days and the age of AI, it's so easy to vibe code an app, but everyone can vibe code an app. You can have an agent build an app for you every day or every hour. How are you going to get people's attention? So instead of trying to attract attention by building something, you go to where the attention is and then iterate from there. Because you just have to meet people where they're at. So I think it's the alpha for me, and what I would like to share with everyone that is a developer is PMF, finding that will happen only if you have distribution first. You have to have the channels first, and then you have some attention. Can you maintain it? And how do you tap into these different types of distribution? So it's being creative and thinking about distribution opportunities that are not quite obvious.
Cool. Okay, thank you guys so much. We'll move on to the next panel, but round of applause for our panelists.